everyone. I'd like to call a meeting of the Plan Commission meeting to order. Roll call.
Valerino Gomez.
Yes? Valeriano.
Anthony Serna.
Present.
Livia Ramos.
Here.
Monique Kermis. Joanne Morris. Douglas Sloss.
Here.
William Allen.
Present.
Lydia Lopez. Stacy Winfield.
Okay, if everybody would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on our agenda, we have the approval of minutes of the meeting of Monday, March 16, 2020. Entertain a motion to approve as written.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Anthony Serna.
Yes.
Livia Ramos.
Yes.
Douglas Sloss.
Yes.
William Allen.
Yes.
Stacy Winfield.
Okay. Now we'll move on to new business. Under City Planners Report, we have Resolution 01-2020. Resolution of East Chicago Advisory Plan Commission initiating a proposal to change the zoning map of the city concerning the former West Calumet, East Chicago housing site in Goodman Park.
Good afternoon. I can't exactly talk in circles, at least not for the full meeting, so I'll simply stay here and want you to know that you're part of the family as we go forward. This concerns what is popularly known as Superfund Site or Superfund Zone 1, formerly known as the West Calumet Housing Project. You have a small map. The official document that you received has the resolution, which is 2 pages, and then has a map which is attached to that. And then attached to that is the proposed ordinance for the Common Council titled Sponsor Councilman Terrence Hill, ordinance number, and there's not a number yet, that's put in by the clerk of the Common Council. And then the last page, which is also stapled to the package, is the notice of public hearing. That notice appeared in the Hammond Times this last Friday. And the notice is about the meeting 2 weeks from today, which we're going to discuss and which our president has some questions about and which hopefully we'll all have input into. This area has been zoned R4 for most of where the housing was and R2 for where the Goodman Park was and the swimming pool formerly, which has been removed. And this is you're being asked to consider that this be rezoned as M1, which is light industry. There has been some consideration of a warehouse being there and also a training facility, as well as some offices that are to be part of that. And so before any of that can be done or considered or come before a tech review, come before yourselves, the zoning has to be addressed first. Now, the zoning map that you have is a little bit hard to read. I have a larger zoning map. If we could just pass it around. Sorry?
Everybody have marathon?
Everybody have?
Good. Passing the paper around.
No.
Well,
I can see mine.
if you can see yours fine, you may want to just look at the larger one on your way out the door then. question of whether the area remain housing or become an industrial use such as a warehouse is something that has long been considered. There are those in the community who want it to be residential again. There are those who want it not necessarily to become residential, but to be treated by the EPA that it be dug to a distance of 2 or 3 feet in order to be, at least in their eyes, a safer community. The difference between the industrial zoning and the residential zoning is that the clearing of the ground would be, I believe, to an 18-inch depth. Joe, perhaps you know, is it 18-inch or 2 feet? Not yet been determined, depending upon what goes in there. So this is what is being presented for you. The numbers on the first page refer to the zoning parcels that are a little bit hard to read the numbers. There's one principal parcel for all of the housing, and then there's a housing for the park where the yellow is. Then there's some, and you notice along the right side, there's some red and then blue, and these are the zoning, and also, so you have about 6 or 7 of the numbers that are on here refer to not the main area where the housing was, but to smaller parcels that were alongside of it. So that, you have then the map, the resolution that will be presented to the council as a result of your vote, and that vote will be 2 weeks from now after the public hearing. The public hearing, as I say, appeared this last Friday and gave notice of the public hearing, which will be at the beginning of your meeting on the 20th of April, 2 weeks from this afternoon. Are there any questions?
So this resolution 01-2020, it's just initiating the proposal then? So,
That's correct.
so this has to go to the public hearing, we take people's comments, and then it goes to the council. It needs council approval too before it's in.
Well, it needs your approval after the public hearing.
Okay, but
As I understand it, there's, Joe, if Joe could speak to this.
It's a two-step process. The ordinance amending the zoning map, which is what determines the permitted uses in various zones within the city, is a two-step process. It originates in the Plan Commission, which is doing today. This is the initial resolution. We're required to advertise for a public hearing and give notice to interested parties as defined by statute, and give them an opportunity to speak about it. After the public hearing, there's a recommendation, final resolution, forwarding the subject matter to the Common Council for consideration. The rezoning, if it occurs, that is in the form of amending the zoning map, changing the permitted use of the subject property, is a legislative function. We're the party that has the public hearing, and we initiate the process by forwarding a proposed ordinance to the Common Council.
okay, so the council has a final say then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments on Resolution 01-2020? Stacy?
Okay, I see you have these parcels down, but I think it's kind of best that we go on the assessors to look at this, so you can see the actual properties in my right next to North Road. Because you can have parcels down here, but we have people that's not here today. And I see you have the larger map, but if they can go on, I think they can go on the assessor's site as a visit, as a guest.
All of these are from the assessor's map.
I mean, as far as you can see them visuals better on the assessor's website as you go on the parcel. You can see the properties even clearer. You can see the actual properties. I know you have the one map.
The assessor's map, as I understand, does not have a map.
They have the property that you can look at.
Well, if you
Probably Google
choose to focus in further, those are on the surveyor's map. So you can focus in as much as you want. We could do that, but I don't know that we can, that we would print all of those.
Well, no, I'm just saying, for my own, because we were working in the building department, I know when we put parcels in, I could go on here and put this parcel in and look at the picture of the property on it. If I want to go on the assessor's site, I can see the property from this parcel number.
That's exactly right.
You can go on as a guest, you don't have to have the whole, you can go on as a guest.
But the notice, Mr. Marshall, notice that was put out for this meeting, it had all this information on there?
It has it by number. It has the numbers and the parcels. If you look on the left-hand side of the resolution as it was given to you, it has a number of parcels. They're all East Chicago. They're all in that area. And the principal parcel is 101004, which is the fifth one down. That's the parcel, that's the, I'm sorry, the 001. It seems to me, as I read the map, has the entire parcel, all that is in pink on your map. Then all these other pieces are, like for instance, I know there was a garage facility along here, and then there's some empty property. A lot of that is a utility corridor for NIPSCO, which however is owned. NIPSCO has an easement, but the ownership has been by the Housing Authority.
Right.
The only reason I was saying is because if you're having the public go on, if they're looking at your article in the paper and they're looking at parcels, they don't understand what they're reading if it's not explained. And if it's people's property that's involved in this, you may have a property that someone got the forgiveness and they're working on. You want to bump heads with that, with these parcels, because I do know it was a property that someone had got a permit to start work on. So I would have a concern.
One of these properties?
It just came from Mr. Councilman Hill. I do know that it is a property over there. So there's a concern. That's why I was suggesting we go on the assessors. I would tell people to go on the assessors to look. And with this pandemic that's going on, people are not going to come here to a hearing, to visit to a hearing. Everybody may not have access to a computer to watch it. I don't know if it's going to go on Channel 21. I always think about people maybe not having Channel 21 versus, this is a hard time to get information out to people that might want to come because the residents in the Calumet area have a concern and a say. And they have always felt that they were left out when things have happened over there. So trying to get them to hear
This is not involving any of their homes.
But this is the West Calumet, right?
Yes.
That they knocked down.
That they knocked down.
The people will still have.
West of McCook.
Right. The people still have a great concern because they have to vacate the area. So you still have people that's concerned about what's going on there.
Well-
Are you recommending that we create
I don't
something?
know how, with the situation that we're in now, how are you really gonna get the information to the people? And I know you said within 2 weeks you need to have it, but if something has to go out to the residents so they know, if it's gonna be, however we're gonna conduct a meeting, if it's gonna be a Zoom or whatever, the residents need to be able to see or hear what's really going on, because once this happens, whether the council passes it or whichever happens, it's still gonna be a question, because people cannot attend and cannot question it.
Okay. Can the people in the area, are they being mailed notices?
Yes.
So everybody in the adjoining areas are getting a notice?
Everyone within two properties deep of the subject property is getting first-class mail notice, copy of the public notice that's being published in the newspaper.
And those were mailed, I believe, on Friday.
Okay, because I think that's why we're getting phone calls. So at the public hearing, can we have enlarged,
The letters went out a little prematurely.
Mr. Morris, at the public hearing, can we have enlarged photos that have this plot?
We can have this, at very large. We can prepare that with ourselves and with Joe and with Ryan.
I believe that the potential developer, who the petitioner for the rezoning petitioner, will bring large pictures of the site and the proposed development.
Okay, because we have the mailings going out, we had the notice, and if we have the developer bring these bigger photos, so when people come to speak, they could actually see what we have, I think that would suffice. We'll have plenty of things. In the next meeting, we're only voting, initiating the resolution right now. Next meeting, we'll vote on after everybody talks and whatever. And the council still has the final say anyway. So,
But how are you gonna, if this is not cleared up, that's my thing, if this situation, well, our situation is not cleared up, how are you gonna have the people coming to a hearing? People are afraid to go outside now, so how are you gonna actually have the people participate in the hearing?
well, right now, before you came, we were making, not only just for this meeting, we're discussing how, following the governor's executive orders on meetings, how we would limit people. We're even thinking of the way it's spaced out now, actually putting chairs in the hallway, this hallway and downstairs hallway. Security will limit them as they come in. As people finish speaking, they would go out. So I think by then we should have a better plan. But right now we have the notice for the hearing already in the mail. We have the letters already mailed out. So I think we have to proceed and try to make the best of it if we get these larger drawings out, and if we have to explain to the people when they come. So,
I hate to keep saying something, but Pastor Strauss, do you think their village will come here for a hearing? I don't think so. You have a lot of elders that are afraid to come. You could space them out as far as you want. It's right now, and within the president just said these 2 weeks are gonna be the most serious, critical time. People are gonna be so terrified. My thing is that, do you think that they'll?
No, a lot of seniors are not going to come. That's a given. It's no way around it.
yeah, well, I don't know, these are difficult times, and like I said, with the mailings already out, the notice already put out, I think we just have to make the best that we can. And Stacy, I think the council has a final say, so if we have to,
Well, we're gonna be, doing electronic meetings, so we're not gonna even have people come in. But the president comes in, maybe the secretary will come in, but we're gonna be doing electronically so that we won't be here.
but, yeah, that's the thing. And even with your meetings, from what I hear, they still haven't figured out how to have the public address it.
I don't believe they're gonna be able to.
Well, there's people who are talking about the Zoom thing or whatever, but I know with our IT, we're discussing that to figure out how that works. I'm not familiar with it, but,
The school city's having their school board meeting today, and maybe if we find out how it's going today, where the public is gonna be able, hopefully if they're able to call in or some type of way, I don't know if that'll be something I would set up.
It's already been set up. The giant screen in the mayor's office is also used, what we were thinking about using for Zoom and stuff like that. So the people that have computer access can fill it in and then they can call it.
can we do this here with this system?
Yes, because it's wireless. All
Okay.
you have to do is just use the wireless internet connection here.
Okay, Lily?
For the BZA meetings, Mr. Morris wrote, we actually had the residents that had a concern for the public hearing we called them, we called all the residents within that area, and if they had any concerns at that point, we would document their concerns and then read them at the meeting. So for those that don't have computer access, maybe that's another way that they can voice their opinion. At that last BZA meeting, Mr. Morris, remember we had Belinda read their comments.
However, I believe it was only one or two.
We had a few, we had quite a few, yeah, that did voice their concerns. So that's just another avenue that maybe they can use. Maybe they can call and then, give their name, address, and voice their concerns, and then we can also read those concerns at the public hearing. Because, like Stacy said, not everybody's going to have access to the internet and be able to, patch into Zoom. That's just a thought.
Okay. Are there
And I
any,
know the seniors are going to be afraid to come up, so at least they can have their voice heard.
Yeah, and some of us juniors don't want to be here with a whole bunch of people either.
well, are there any other questions or comments? There being no further questions or comments, I entertain a motion to approve Resolution 01220, a resolution of Chicago Advisory Plan Commission initiating a proposal to change the zoning map of the city concerning the former West Calumet, East Chicago housing site and Goodman Park. Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez,
Yes?
Anthony Serna,
Yes.
Julia Ramos,
Yes.
Douglas Fox,
Yes.
William Allen,
Yes.
Stacy Winfield.
Abstain.
Okay. So pursuant to the resolution, and as Mr. Morrisseau said, the notice has been sent out for the public hearing scheduled on Monday, April 20th, 2020 at 4:30 PM. So that'll be before our next meeting. Hopefully, we'll get together with IT and I think our engineer had some ideas about the Zoom. William, you had some ideas about this too, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it could work.
Okay. Well, we're going to make an effort to try to make it work till then. Another thing, we move on to old business. One thing I want to bring up, I think it was brought up before, under the conditions that we're working under. I noticed the governor's directive that the meeting should be essential only to essential matter. So, and my idea was that usually when we have meetings, every other meeting we have nothing on the agenda. I was going to propose these meetings where there's nothing on the agenda, we just don't have meetings, until we could figure out. Matter of fact, the governor even has suggestion in his directive that one member could be present, the other members could be on, either phone it in or something. And I kind of like that idea, and we could even let the public know about that. So, if everybody's okay with that, I'm going to pursue getting our plan commission, because we're unique because we have so many members, and then with the staff, as you can see, how we have to sit. I like to work on this. I like your permission to work on this with IT and also with our multimedia, so we can set this up for the next meetings. Yes?
Brian, they made this, put something for redevelopment in their meeting, and they gave was it conference call, they gave the telephone number and the phone?
Everyone did the same thing that I talked about earlier.
Mhm.
So everybody,
Yeah, we'll reel it in during business hours and then call people as soon as Skype is programmed on that time.
the residents can also, right?
I guess the residents
Now, is it possible to stream it live on Channel 21 and then they could phone in?
It is possible, yes, on that giant screen, yes, because it does have a webcam. We would just have to log into the Facebook account.
But I mean from here.
From here?
Yeah.
On that thing, yes.
Oh, because you could just roll that thing in, huh?
Yeah, you
Oh.
roll it in, and then we can connect to Facebook on it. It's a giant computer. That's literally what it is.
Okay, well, that's if they let us borrow it.
They will, because I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe Steven Singer talked about it or whatever, they said like that's probably one of the number one reasons
Mhm.
or usages of that is bringing it in here, because he was telling me about using that for the public hearings, for all the meetings that are happening for the rest of the month.
Okay. So if it's okay with the rest of the board, if I have your permission to pursue these different avenues for our next meetings?
Yes.
Okay, we'll just take a voice vote. Okay, seems like a majority. So, okay, I'll pursue that with IT and multimedia. Are there any other comments from the commissioners?
I have a question, Val. With that said, with this next meeting coming so close, when will we kind of be notified? So that-
As soon as we find out, I have Belinda, she would call you guys. Well, I mean, not Belinda, I keep thinking of Belinda. Sorry, Courtney. My apologies. As soon as I think within this week, I might get something from IT, and judging from here, they've already been talking about it at the mayor's office, so we should get something pretty quick. So, and then Courtney would contact you, everybody, and let you know. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of having the president, everybody could see it, and everybody could phone in, and everybody could vote like that. Okay, that's actually what the state's kind of recommending. Okay? Okay, any further questions or comments? Okay, there being no further questions or comments, our next meeting is Monday, April 20th, 2020 at 4:30 PM with the public hearing before the meeting. As that concludes our business, entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Anthony Serna.
Yes.
Sylvia Raymond.
Yes.
Douglas Thomas.
Yes.
William Allen.
Yeah.
Stacy Winfield.
Okay.